Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. When a man hurts you, the biggest mistake you can make is giving him the reaction he expects. He wants to see you cry, beg, chase after him, and question your worth. He wants to believe that he had that much power over you. But today we're flipping the script. Because the truth is, you are the prize. Your value does not decrease just because someone else failed to recognize it. So instead of breaking down, we're going to level up. Instead of engaging in drama, we're going to move in silence. Instead of seeking revenge, we're going to glow up so hard that they can't help but notice. The real power is not in reacting. It's in showing that you were never dependent on them in the first place. This isn't about bitterness, it's about strength. It's about knowing who you are and refusing to let temporary pain define your future. So if you've ever been hurt, disrespected, or undervalued, listen up, because I'm about to tell you exactly how to confuse the man who thought he could break you. Let's get into it. Confidence is your greatest weapon because it shifts the power dynamic in any situation. When a man hurts you, he often expects a certain reaction: tears, anger, desperation. He expects you to feel small, to doubt yourself, to question your worth. But when you stand firm in your confidence, you don't just defy his expectations, you completely throw him off balance. Confidence is the ability to walk away from pain with your head held high, knowing that your value is not determined by how someone else treats you. It is the quiet strength that says, I am enough, with or without you. The moment you refuse to let hurt define you, you take back control. Confidence isn't about pretending you're not affected. It's about knowing that you will be okay regardless of what happens. It's about understanding that no one else has the power to dictate your happiness. When you own who you are, when you embrace your worth, you become untouchable in a way that confuses those who try to break you. People expect heartbreak to weaken you. But when you use it as fuel to elevate yourself, it leaves them wondering how you became even stronger. Confidence is not loud or boastful. It's steady, unshakable, and undeniable. It's in the way you carry yourself, in the way you refuse to engage in unnecessary drama, in the way you continue to shine without seeking validation. A man who tries to hurt you expects to see you crumble. He expects you to seek closure, to beg for answers, to linger in the pain he caused. But when you show him that your happiness was never dependent on him in the first place, it shifts everything. Confidence is choosing yourself over someone who made you feel less than. It's looking in the mirror and knowing that you are worthy of love, respect, and peace. It's walking into a room and not shrinking, even when the person who hurt you is there. It's refusing to let pain make you bitter and instead allowing it to make you better. When you carry yourself with confidence, you send a message without saying a word. You are whole, you are valuable, and you are unstoppable. When you embrace your confidence, you don't chase, you attract. You don't seek validation, you embody it. You don't wait for someone else to see your worth. You live in it every single day. And the most powerful part, it confuses the very person who tried to hurt you. They expect regret, sadness, longing. Instead, they see someone who has risen above, someone who has transformed pain into power. And that right there is the greatest response you could ever give. Silence is powerful because it forces people to feel the weight of their own actions without you having to explain a thing. When a man hurts you, his biggest expectation is that you will react. He expects anger, tears, arguments, or desperate attempts to get his attention. He expects you to plead for answers, to keep the connection alive, to make noise. But when you respond with silence, you take away his control over the situation. You shift the power dynamic completely, leaving him confused, unsettled, and forced to deal with the consequences of his choices. Silence speaks in a way that words never can. It creates space, space for reflection, space for regret, space for the other person to truly feel your absence. When you refuse to engage, you send a message. You will not beg for respect. You will not fight for someone who did not value you, and you will not lower yourself to unnecessary drama. This type of silence is not weakness. It is one of the strongest statements you can make. It says, I am in control of my emotions. I do not need closure from you. I do not need explanations. I will move forward on my own terms. People often try to hurt you as a way to provoke a reaction. If you respond with anger or desperation, it feeds their ego. It lets them know they still have access to your emotions, that they still have power over you. But when you choose silence, you remove that satisfaction. You take away the validation they were seeking. You become unpredictable, and that unpredictability is unsettling. They begin to wonder why you are not reacting, why you are not chasing, why you are not breaking down like they expected. And that confusion, that's where your power lies. There is nothing more unsettling than being ignored by someone who once gave you their time, energy, and attention. When you go silent, it forces the other person to sit with their own thoughts. They start questioning themselves. Did I make a mistake? Is she really done? Is she happier without me? Your silence allows them to realize what they lost without you having to lift a finger. It creates a void. And in that void, they are left with nothing but their own guilt, regret, and unanswered questions. Silence is also a form of self-respect. It shows that you do not need to explain your worth to someone who failed to see it. You do not need to argue, prove a point, or seek revenge. Your peace, your growth, and your ability to move forward without them is enough. By choosing silence, you protect your energy. You allow yourself to heal without reopening wounds. You shift your focus from what was lost to what is ahead. So when a man hurts you, don't waste your breath trying to make him understand. Don't beg, don't plead, don't fight for someone who didn't fight for you. Simply go silent. Let your absence speak the words you no longer need to say. Let your peace be the loudest response. Because in the end, silence isn't just powerful, it's unforgettable. When someone hurts you, the natural reaction is to feel pain, anger, or even a desire for revenge. But the most powerful response you can have is not to lash out, not to seek validation, and not to prove anything to anyone. It's to glow up. That means leveling up in every area of your life, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. When a man hurts you, don't let that pain drag you down. Use it to elevate yourself to new heights. See, anger and bitterness only chain you to the past. When you hold on to resentment, replaying the hurt over and over again, you are giving that person power over your emotions. And that is exactly what you don't want. The real revenge, the real victory comes from becoming so strong, so confident, and so successful that the pain they caused you no longer has a place in your life. You turn that hurt into motivation, and instead of breaking down, you break through. A glow up isn't just about looking better. It's about feeling better, thinking better, and living better. It's about waking up every morning and choosing to prioritize yourself. It's hitting the gym, eating right, dressing in a way that makes you feel unstoppable. It's taking care of your skin, your mind, your body, and your soul. But more than that, it's about healing from the inside out. It's about doing the inner work, letting go of negative self-talk, choosing joy over pain, and shifting your mindset from heartbreak to self-love. A glow-up is about growth. It's about realizing that the pain was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to push you toward the best version of yourself. Maybe that relationship had to end so you could focus on your career. Maybe that rejection had to happen so you could rediscover your passions. Maybe that heartbreak was a lesson that redirected you towards something greater. When you glow up, you stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as a warrior. You didn't lose them, they lost you. And let's talk about what happens when you truly glow up. The person who hurt you, they notice. They see you moving differently, speaking differently, carrying yourself with more confidence than ever before. And that's when the confusion sets in. Because they expected you to fall apart. They expected you to be stuck in pain. But instead, you became someone they could never break again. And that is the most powerful thing you can do, not for them, but for yourself. Glowing up means you stop waiting for closure. You stop waiting for an apology. You stop waiting for someone to recognize your worth because you already know your worth. You become so focused on your future that the past no longer holds you back. You start living for you, setting new goals, trying new things, surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, and walking through life with the confidence of a woman who knows she is So don't let the hurt define you, let it refine you. Turn pain into power, turn heartbreak into hustle, turn rejection into redirection. And most of all, glow so brightly that the people who once doubted you can't help but watch in awe. When someone hurts you, the first thing they expect is an emotional reaction. They expect tears, anger, desperate texts, long phone calls, or some dramatic display of pain. They assume they have control over your emotions, that they can dictate how you feel, how you respond, and ultimately how you move forward. But the moment you take control of your emotions, you take back the power they thought they had. You shift the entire game in your favor, leaving them confused, unsettled, and questioning everything they assumed about you. See, emotional control isn't about pretending you don't care. It's not about suppressing your feelings or acting like you're made of stone. It's about choosing how and when you express your emotions, and most importantly, who deserves access to them. Not everyone deserves to see you hurt. Not everyone deserves an explanation. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your healing process. Sometimes the best response is no response. When you refuse to react the way they expect, you become unpredictable. And that's powerful. A person who knows they can provoke you will continue to test you. But a person who realizes they no longer have control over your emotions will start to question their own actions. Did they underestimate you? Did they misjudge your strength? Were they not as important to you as they thought? The very moment you stop reacting, you become the one in control. Moving forward with grace and strength means you don't waste your time on someone who didn't value you. You don't chase, you don't beg, and you don't fall into the trap of needing closure. Closure doesn't come from another person, it comes from within. It comes from knowing your worth and refusing to let someone's actions define your future. This is where emotional discipline becomes your greatest weapon. It's easy to react in the moment, to let hurt turn into rage or self-doubt. But when you step back, take a deep breath and remind yourself of your power, you regain control. You don't act impulsively. You don't say things you'll regret. You don't waste energy proving a point to someone who isn't even worth the conversation. Instead, you channel that energy into yourself, your growth, your goals, and your glow up. Think of it like this: the person who hurt you expected you to be stuck. They expected you to break down, to beg to prove your worth. But when you show them grace and strength, when you keep your head high and your heart intact, you show them that they never had as much power over you as they thought. And that is the most confusing, most unexpected, most powerful response you could ever give. So the next time someone expects you to fall apart, do the opposite. Keep your composure. Walk away with dignity. Focus on yourself. Because when you control your emotions, you control the game. And when you control the game, you always win. When someone fails to see your worth, that is not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of them. Too often we tie our value to how someone else treats us, as if their love, attention, or approval determines our worth. But here's the truth: your value is already set. It's not up for debate. It doesn't decrease because someone didn't appreciate you, and it doesn't disappear because someone walked away. The key to moving forward is understanding that you were valuable before them, you are valuable without them, and you will be valuable long after they are gone. See, when a man hurts you, the worst thing you can do is stop moving, stop growing, stop shining. That's exactly what he expects: to see you stuck, doubting yourself, wondering what went wrong. But when you refuse to let the pain define you, when you keep it moving, you show him and yourself that nothing and no one has the power to hold you back. Keeping it moving means you don't waste time on someone who didn't recognize your worth. You don't sit around replaying conversations, questioning what you could have done differently, or waiting for him to realize what he lost. You are not a backup plan. You are not an afterthought. You are the main event. And if someone couldn't see that, then their absence is a blessing, not a loss. Understand this: life does not stop because someone left. Your dreams are still waiting. Your goals still matter. Your happiness is still yours to claim. So instead of looking back, look ahead. Instead of dwelling on the past, step boldly into your future. Keeping it moving is not just about walking away, it's about walking towards something greater. And let's be clear, when you truly move forward, you do it with grace and confidence. You don't throw shade. You don't seek revenge. You don't waste your energy trying to prove a point. You prove your worth by living well, by being happy, by glowing from the inside out. That's what confuses the people who didn't value you. They expect you to crumble, but instead you rise. They expect you to be bitter, but instead you shine. Keeping it moving means choosing yourself every single day. It means surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, investing in things that bring you joy, and stepping into the best version of yourself. It means waking up every morning knowing that you are enough just as you are. So hold your head high, fix your crown, and walk forward like the queen you are. Because the truth is, anyone who couldn't appreciate you didn't deserve you in the first place. And that's not your problem, it's theirs. Keep growing, keep shining, and keep it moving.